YouTube, welcome back to another video on the channel. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I build high converting product pages using AI. And so in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys a step-by-step live video of me building out my most famous product page that I've used to make over $100,000 with organic dropshipping. So in this video, there's not going to be any paid themes here that I'm going to be using. We're going to be using, actual Shopify themes that you can access for absolutely free. There's going to be no sponsors in this video. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I'm not getting paid to say anything. So again, this is going to be just my actual authentic self, providing you just straight up value on how to build a good product page that's, pretty high converting. So a little bit more about me. These are a couple of my stores that you can go ahead and look up. I've done over $100,000 with organic dropshipping in a little over like 6 months. And a lot of these, results that you see here were done with this exact product page that I'm going to be actually breaking down in this video. So if you actually watch the video and, you can sit down on your chair like I'm doing right here and watch a 20-minute video, you're going to be learning these 3 things right here. You're going to be learning how to build a product page from complete scratch. All right, we're going to literally just do it from zero today. I'm going to literally show you how I personally use AI to do the majority of the work for me, the grunt work, the boring work that nobody wants to do. And then lastly, I'm going to literally teach you how to convert customers a little bit better and actually increase your average order value when, there is traffic being sent to your website, right? At the end of the day, when we do organic dropshipping, our conversion rate, as you guys can see, are a little bit low. But, that's simply because we are literally directing viral traffic to our website. And, 9 out of 10 times, it's not necessarily super targeted traffic. So this is why we have super low conversion rates, which is why we have to take advantage of, this thing called AOV, right? And making sure that we, skyrocket it as much as possible and essentially just convert more customers, right? Because, we don't do paid ads here, so we can't necessarily target certain demographics of people. So, we're not blessed with that at the moment. So like I said, we're going to be getting into the nitty gritty of it. I'm going to be literally showing you how to build this product page from complete scratch. I have my checklist right here, but just to show you an example of how this is going to actually look like, I'm going to be showing you 2 examples right here. So the first example is one of my personal brands right here called Merkface. We did over $20,000 with this brand. And so if I go here into the inspect element and show you guys this in mobile view, because this is where like 99% of our traffic is just going to come from naturally, you guys can see that this is like a pretty decent product page, nothing too crazy, but all this was done for absolutely free. There's no paid themes, nothing. And as you guys can see, it's pretty good. It's pretty nice. It's honestly what you need as a beginner to make your first $100,000 with organic. And then obviously, once you start scaling your store, etc., that's when you want to get into like, paid themes and, upsells, post-purchase upsells, stuff like that. But, you can get away with this, and this is actually pretty nice. When you actually look at it from like a phone view, it's not too bad. This is another store that I ran as well. It's called Eternal Jewelry. Made about $3,000 with this. Nothing too crazy. But again, want to show you guys the actual landing page here, or the product page, sorry. As you guys can see, we have our initial announcement bar, our logo, our product, some bundles, some gifts that I use to personally just, show off the product in a good light. And then as we go down, we can see some actual customer testimonials, which were just done by, ChatGPT, which I will show you how to do. And then lastly here, we have some customer testimonials / reviews of people actually utilizing our product, et cetera, et cetera. And honestly, this is all you really need in the beginning. All right, so enough of the yapping. Let me go ahead and actually show you how to do this. So first and foremost, what you're going to need to do is actually open up a new Shopify store. I'm not going to teach you how to do this. Just look up shopify.com, pick a plan, and then boom, you're ready to go. After that, we actually have to think about, importing the product into our store. But how do we actually do this? So typically, when you do dropshipping, when you do organic dropshipping, you're going to find your product on AliExpress. So typically, you're going to go ahead and search up your product. Obviously, we're going to be talking about the Deadpool mask here that I ran. So, you obviously search it up and then you have a whole bunch of different results. This is absolutely crazy. That's insane. I don't know why that's popping up. But what you go ahead and do is you click on the product right here. And initially, it's going to just show you the product images, and then the different variations of the product. So what we need to do is download this fancy app called DSers. It's absolutely free. Again, I'm not getting paid to say shit. They should honestly be paying me to do this, but it is what it is. You look up DSers. It's super simple to use. Essentially, what this does, it bridges the gap between AliExpress, right, and your Shopify store. Okay, so essentially what this does is it connects the product to your store. So then when you go to the product tab, in your Shopify, you can go ahead and see your product right here. Okay, so that's exactly what I did for the store. I went ahead and connected this exact mask to my store, and then boom, all the product images go with it, etc., etc. So what's next? Once you actually import your product from AliExpress, we actually have to come up with a brand name and a store logo, right? This is super important to actually, have some brand awareness. So what you need to do is you go on ChatGPT, and this is like the most simple process ever. So since we are trying to come up with a brand name, evolving around a Deadpool mask, that's pretty much what I'm going to be talking about in this video. All you have to do is say, hey, ChatGPT, wow, hey, ChatGPT, I am starting my own e-com brand evolving around a winking Deadpool mask. And then you're going to say, period, give me 20 unique and catchy brand for my store. So literally, you just ask ChatGPT, hey ChatGPT, I am starting my own ecom brand evolving around a winking Deadpool mask. Give me 20 unique and catchy brand names for my store. You generate, and then whatever, yada, yada, yada. So again, it's going to give you a ton of different options. Obviously, I asked for 20 unique ones, but as you guys can see, number one is wing pool, pool face, the Merc mask, etc., etc. So this is literally how I found my name, guys. This literally took me less than 10 minutes, and I was able to come up with the name Merc Face. And honestly, it sounds pretty cool. I think it's pretty catchy and pretty sleek. And pretty simple process here when it comes to actually picking out a name. So again, if you don't see a name you like in the first 20, ask for 20 more, right? All you got to do is like, all right, I don't like any of these. Give me, dude, you can even ask for like 50 more. And then boom, eventually you're going to find your answer. Eventually you're going to have your brand name. And, it's actually super, super easy. It's super low. It's just such a brain rot way to actually find a name. And look, it just gave me 50 off the bat right here. All right. So after you actually find a name, we actually need to come up with a store logo. And this is when we actually use a website called Canva. Let me go ahead and actually start a brand new design right here. For you guys. So just click logo. And again, I am using the paid version. It's only $10 a month because I think you unlock like a whole bunch of different other templates, which are actually pretty freaking cool. So, I mean, if you don't have $10, just do the free version. There's some good options, but definitely recommend you invest in yourself a little bit to get the really good templates. So again, all I'm going to search up is just logo right here. And it's just going to give you a whole bunch of different templates. So obviously, I went with a template that actually matched my store. So typically 9 out of 10 times, I'm looking for something super sleek, nothing too crazy, and honestly, just get straight into the point. And so with my actual logo that I used for this website, it's actually funny because the font, I think I just used like a normal like Times New Roman font with a like little badge right here that said that showed Deadpool's face. And honestly, I think I found this in where did I find this? Oh yeah, like on Pinterest, bro. But anyways, if I did really want to make like a superhero kind of logo, all you really have to do is just search up whatever your product has to do with. So again, I said superhero, and so boom, you can just click on the template right here, switch the name to Merc Face like that, and then obviously I would go ahead and replace this with a Deadpool, like a Deadpool little PNG logo or something that makes it look cool. Let me actually go on Google. You actually get some better results here. So Deadpool. So again, I would honestly find something cool like a Deadpool cartoon kind of logo here, where it essentially just shows the product in a pretty good light, or even not even the product, but just, I mean, Deadpool is the product obviously, but we're trying to find something that's just sleek, pretty cool. I think I saw something here, logo. So yeah, I would probably get this. I would just copy, take it over to Canva. I would paste it, and then boom, you have my logo right here. Super simple. again, you're not really looking for anything too crazy in the beginning because you don't even know if your store is gonna like scale. So, you know, this is something that you can go ahead and always like retouch later on and get super fancy with your logo. But at the end of the day, I promise you, you can get away with this, because if you actually look up my TikTok on Merkface, if you look up my TikTok right here, you guys can see that my literal logo is just the fucking Deadpool thing that I found on Pinterest, and you know, over 20,000 followers, etc. So again, you don't necessarily need anything crazy. Obviously, we're just trying to find something for the website. So as you guys can see, boom, that is done. So we picked out the brand name, we picked out the store logo. Now we have to obviously pick a theme. So typically, when you start a online store, you're going to have to go to the online store section, go to themes, and then you're going to be seeing your theme library. So for this video, I'm going to be using the Dom theme. This is the one and only theme that I've ever used since the beginning of my organic dropshipping journey. And honestly, I think it's one of the best. It's super simple to use. And this is exactly what I used to build out this exact product page, okay, as you guys saw a little bit earlier. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go into the Dom theme right here. We're going to customize it. And typically, once you go into the homepage, you're going to be seeing your products right here, right? So like I said, I had my initial Deadpool mask, and I was also doing like a little upsell kind of thing towards the end of the checkout experience, where I was adding like a best friends necklace, but we're not really going to be worrying about this product right here. It's mostly going to be the Deadpool product, right? So typically, like I said, we're going to be choosing the Dom theme, okay, when we start off. So after that, we have to actually pick out a color scheme for our website. Okay, so like I said, we're gonna go ahead and change some of the colors within our product page. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on the product page like that, and then go over to the settings tab right here where it says theme settings. You're gonna go over to colors, and then right here, you're gonna see 5 different schemes, and each scheme does like a different thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually change the color of all the schemes to actually match my product. So obviously I'm gonna make it like red and black. So let me go ahead and go and do that. So scheme 1, right here. So we're gonna go ahead and just click this to get a nice little red, and then we're gonna go to color scheme number 2. I'm gonna go ahead and just paste the red that I've been using for the website, just like that, and then boom, we should be good to go. Then go to scheme number 3, change the background again to that red I'm using, paste it, good to go. All right, so now that we have our colors picked out for our store, obviously you don't even see them yet because we haven't even like picked it out, we haven't like changed it. What we need to do is actually change our buttons. So we have to go to the buttons right here, because these buttons are super just like, I don't know, they're not really catchy. They're kind of normal, they're square. And I'm a big fan of like rounded, you know, add to cart buttons and just rounded corners in general when it comes to the store. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the theme setting again, go over to buttons, and then you're going to go ahead and just change some things here. Okay. So first thing we're going to change is the actual corner radius of the button. So we're going to go from a 0px to a 40. So after we change the button corner radius to 40px, we're going to actually scroll down a little bit more to where it says content containers, and then we're going to go over to the corner radius section right here and change this to 20. And then lastly, we're going to keep going down to where it says media. You're going to go to corner radius and change this to 20 as well, and you're going to see how the pictures actually change to a more rounded look right here, a more rounded feel. So if you go to mobile view, it just looks a lot better to the eye. Okay, so once that's done, you're gonna obviously save it. Boom, we're done with that. All right, so now that we messed around with the buttons, we're gonna go ahead and change some of the colors. So we're gonna go over to the announcement bar first right here, and what I'm gonna do is go to the color scheme section and then change this to the red like I like. And again, every time I go ahead and change my announcement bar, I like to always start it off with a nice little offer. So typically I'll do like a, you know, 60% off, 60% off. We'll do all caps just for the sake of this video. So we'll do a 60% off offer, all orders, and then we'll do a free shipping offer as well, just to kind of get the store up and running. And then I'm going to go ahead and just change the scheme one more time, just because I want the font to obviously stand out a little bit more in that white color, and boom, there we go. But one thing that I noticed is the actual font of the letters. I don't necessarily like that. So what I'm going to do too is go to the theme settings, go over to typography, and actually change the font of the website. So what I'm going to do is go over to headings first, and the one I like is called Avenir Next. and we're gonna go ahead and go for a semi-bold look. Actually, let's do maybe bold. Yeah, that's a lot better. So I'm gonna go ahead and select the Avenir Next Bold, select that. And then for my body text, when it comes to the description of the actual product, I'll go ahead and do Avenir Next as well. And then instead of like super bold, I'll do like a semi-bold option, and typically that looks really, really good. So as you guys can see, the actual font just looks a lot cleaner in my opinion. Another thing that I'm gonna do too when it comes to the actual product page, this is stuff that I just typically do myself. I'll go over to the little My Store, this little icon here where it says My Store, and I'll just typically just remove that. I think there's really no need for it. Same thing when it comes to the Shop Pay option. I'll go ahead and just remove that. So right here, I'll just disable dynamic checkout buttons and gift card sending options. I'll go ahead and just disable that for the sake of this. Again, I just don't use that. Another thing too that I like to remove is the share button right here. So I'll just remove this as well. And then boom, we're looking at a little bit of a cleaner product page now. Okay. All right. So now that we changed a couple of things within our product page, I'm going to go ahead and just take a look at the logo here and actually change it. So as you guys can see, it just says Merc Face. It's kind of ugly. So I'm going to go to theme settings again. We're going to go to logo, and then I'm going to go ahead and upload my logo from Canva right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and select the logo that I made earlier. I'm gonna upload it, and then boom, as you guys can see, it's right here. So what I'm gonna do too is just make it a little bit bigger so it looks a little bit better on the mobile view. We'll keep it at like 160 right here. This looks pretty clean. So all I'm gonna do is just save it. And again, it's super easy. You just upload the logo from your Canva, and then it's super easy. Okay, so now we're gonna go back to the desktop view and go ahead and take a look at some of the sections. Okay, so typically when I build out my product page, I like to think of it as like a funnel, right? So the first thing that people are seeing are the, obviously it's just the product, the actual, the price, the offer, and some of the stuff up here, but then they go down the actual funnel. And so this is where we actually have to incentivize the person that's looking at our product page to actually buying our product. So typically what I'll do is I'll go down to this little area called add section, and I'm going to actually include a multi-row right here. And so with the multi-row, this is going to allow you to actually upload the GIFs that we used for the initial website. So as you guys can see, if we scroll down, we have these GIFs right here with some product features. Before I get too ahead of myself, I want to show you how you can actually import these images in the first place, so you can actually have some pretty decent product images. Okay, so what you do is you're going to use something called AliSave Plus. Okay, AliSave Plus is like a Chrome extension. I use Brave as my as my browser. You could also look it up on Brave, but if you search up AliSave Plus on Chrome, it's basically an extension that allows you to essentially just download all of the main images and variant images of the AliExpress listing, right? And again, I'm at a point with dropshipping that I don't necessarily like to do this at my scale, because this is what like 99% of people are doing, is like they just rip all these images from the website, from AliExpress, and they just go ahead and just import it to their product page, right? And this just looks super generic, right? Looking back at this now at my level, because again, this was like my first ever winner, I would have never done this, right? This is just so corny. This is so cheesy. This is what literally everyone and their mothers is doing. This is so low effort, and honestly, it just doesn't really look too good. But again, obviously when you're starting off, it's always a good idea to just have these photos downloaded, so you can go ahead and go into your Canva and then play around with it, right? So typically, like I said, I'm going to download AliSave Plus, and then you're going to have these three different options right here. So typically I'll go ahead and actually download the main images, and then just like that, you'll be able to save each individual image. I'm not going to do that because I pretty much already have these, but it's a super easy way to just download those main images as well as the variant images if your product has different variants. Okay, super easy to do, right? So obviously you would save these product images, and then you would go ahead and upload it to your store just like this. All right, if you want to know how to do this really quickly, let's go ahead and save this. All you really need to do is go back to the products, click on your product, And then right here where it says media, you're gonna press plus, and boom, just like I did, I just integrated all of these images. And also too, another thing that I would personally would do is like at my level now is I would just go ahead and include some of these GIFs to kind of showcase the product in a little bit of a better light. So right here, I'm gonna go ahead and click on this GIF because it actually shows the mask blinking as well as me using the mini controller. Okay, one thing that I wanted to like piggyback on was these product images and how using these AliExpress stock images is just not the way to go when it comes to really showcasing your product and going for that branded approach. So like I said, you want to use Canva to essentially make these product images a lot better. So typically what I'll do, and I'll actually show you a real example of what I was doing, is I was taking these products from AliExpress, right? So this was like one of my old products. I was running these reflexology socks, right? And what I was essentially doing is I was just saving the product images from AliExpress. I was transferring them to Canva and removing the background like you see right here. And essentially what you want to do here is add some sort of headline with some key features. So for example, for this product that I was running, you know, I wanted to make sure that I was really just showing off the product and talking about the features, because a lot of people, when they saw this product, they're like, bro, it's just a pair of socks. So again, I'm trying to think outside the box here. Like, all right, how can I add some of the features within the product images to just flow with the whole sales process? So again, I was adding these little icons right here. You know, we have the massage tool and the reflexology map. And again, these are all icons that you can find inside of Canva. So if you go over to elements in Canva and go to graphics, you can find a whole bunch of different graphics that you can use to your advantage to make something like this, right? And obviously this didn't even take me too long. This probably took me 20 minutes. And again, when it comes to these headlines and then these like these points right here, you could literally just do this all on ChatGPT. So I made this, you know, I made this one as well. So elevate your life and start healing, discover the benefits of reflexology, you know, adding different points right here. And again, guys, this was all using Canva templates, right? So if you go here to products, you can click one of these, maybe add as a new page, and boom, you could literally just replace this product with your own, right? And then just add different features about your product just to really add that touch to your product images, because this is a lot better than just your typical product images that you're seeing on AliExpress. Like, this is trash. And I'm just looking at this now because, like I told you, this was my first ever winning product and I was just rushing shit. So again, if I were to go back now and make this a little bit higher converting, this is exactly what I would do. Is I would go into Canva, I would literally just put my product image right here and just talk a little bit more about the features, just to sell on the whole, just to sell people more on the product, and also just go more of like a branded approach, because again, there's literally no branding in these product images. So I'd probably just go ahead and add, you know, the Merc face logo either on the top right corner or somewhere within the image at least, to go ahead and just incentivize the customer to buy. So again, adding all these different touch points, super crucial when it comes to increasing the AOV and overall conversions. Another product that I did run to in the past was this TurboToke device for grass. If you know, you know. I'm really not trying to get banned on YouTube, but essentially I was just taking the product images, adding different, you know, features within the product, and then converting it to something like this, right? To where you have a nice little background instead of just your stock image from AliExpress. And I was making something like this, you know, so like, again, adding these headlines, you know, effortless cleanup every time, and then adding my actual logo to the product in the product images. Again, that's stuff that people don't do. Because again, if I were to go back to my Merc face, you know, I'd either add like my Merc face logo on the mask or somewhere around the room to really just sell people. Because again, even when it comes to these pendants, bro, this is just stock images. Like, I don't even know what the fuck I was doing, bro. But again, you want to just go the extra mile. But just make sure that your store is actually like making money first before you go all in on this, right? Another thing that I was doing, just a very nice clean picture here, you know, large capacity funnel, large feeding funnel lets you roll multiple cones in one go. You know, stuff like this, bro. Like, look how professional, look how fire this looks just compared to your normal, you know, AliExpress listing. Because if we go to like the AliExpress listing, bro, like tobacco machine roller, like, bro, you guys can see like how trash these are, bro. Look how trash these are. They're just like stock images from China, bro. Like, it's terrible. So you really want to go the extra mile, but just make sure that your store is printing first. And again, I was adding these like nice little headlines, body text. Look at this nice little graphic I added right here and the actual logo. Again, just really picking out a couple of the features of the device. Again, adding my logo right here. And then lastly, you gotta start adding this, bro. Just comparing and contrasting, right? Because again, the whole point of this was to roll tighter, cones, grass cones. And the whole purpose of this graphic right here was to show you, like, look, ours are way better than the regular ones, and here's my logo, right? And look how clean this looks. This was awesome. And again, this only took like maybe less than an hour to make, but I'm telling you, it truly does make the difference when it comes to conversions and just honestly setting yourself apart from 99% of people that are just going on AliExpress and just copying and pasting and ripping these pictures and just throwing them on their website like I did here in the past, right? So again, I'm learning from my mistakes to literally show you guys that that is exactly what you don't want to do. And now I'm at a point with my stores that I'm completely going the full brand approach when it comes to my product images, customer testimonials, just absolutely everything. Because again, the more you can portray this branded image, this small business vibe, it's just going to be a lot more believable to the customer that, wow, this is like an actual business and I really want to support them. Not some regular like drop shipper kid in his basement like I was in the past, right? But again, this may be 20 grand. So again, this shows you like the simplicity factor of this does work, but if you really want to make some extra money from the traffic that's already coming into your site, bro, you want to do stuff like this. But yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to touch up on. All right, so now that we actually took a look on how to import some of these images into our Shopify store, now we have to actually change some of the product descriptions. Okay, so typically when you import a product into your store, you want to have a description for the product. So as you guys can see, there's absolutely nothing that tells me about the product. So what I have to do is go back to the initial page right here and go over to where it says products. Click on my product, okay? And then where it says description, this is where we're actually going to be using ChatGPT to kind of list some of the functionalities out when it comes to, the actual mask, some of the blinking capabilities and the overall usage of the remote. So what I'm going to do is use my friend ChatGPT again to essentially make me a product description. So like I said, we're going to go and talk to ChatGPT. Hey, oh my God, we're still in caps. Hey, ChatGPT. Now I want you to make me a Shopify product description about my winking Deadpool mask using some emojis to talk about the 5 different we'll do like 5 different features, right? And so one of the features that it has is if I go back to the actual, it has the blinking, so it's super realistic, innovative, perfect for all events, authentic, and it stands out. So we're gonna go ahead and copy this right here. And like I said, if you want to come up with features, just literally take a look at your product and even ask ChatGPT, like, what actually, let's be more realistic about this, right? Let me not go ahead and copy and paste. Let me just be like, talk about 5 different features, right? Let's see what it can come up with, right? So here we go. So we have the expressive wink, comfortable fit, high quality material, photo ready design, and then easy to clean. Okay, this is not bad. So obviously these are our features right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and copy this and then also tell it turn this into bullet point features, my product page, like that. Let's see what it cooks up. Okay, this isn't bad. So what we can do here is just literally copy and paste this. So we're gonna go ahead and copy this. So the expressive wink feature. So boom. Then we'll go ahead and just press enter. Talk about the comfort fit, like that. And then we're gonna go back to the high quality material right here. So again, guys, as you guys see, I'm literally using ChatGPT to do all the work for me. Photo ready design, like I said, boom. And then we'll do one more feature, easy to clean. All right, so super easy to clean. press enter, and then boom, we have our features right here. All right, cool. So now that that's done, it's actually looking a little bit better. Again, definitely not complete. Now we're gonna go ahead and actually fill out some of these rows right here that I went ahead and added. So this multi-row, and typically what you want to do is you want to click on the actual row, and right here where it says image, you'll actually be able to either add an image or a GIF. Okay, so like I told you guys, typically I like to use GIFs to really just showcase my product in a good light. So as you guys can see right here, like I show off, you know, it's really just a lot. It's just honestly a lot better to show off a GIF in my opinion, especially when it comes to a product like this that you actually have to like show off its like functionality. So typically what I do is I go to this website called easygif.com. And so I'm going to go ahead and copy this right there, paste it onto that, and then boom, you're going to go into this website called easygif.com. It looks a little bit sketchy, but I promise it's not even that bad. So typically what you want to do is you want to choose a file, right? So when you go ahead and choose a file, make sure it's an actual video of your product, right? So typically you want to make sure the video is about like 5 seconds long. And you're going to be able to just import the video in here and then actually make the GIF. So I did this a little bit earlier with this product. And so if I go to image, go to select right here, you guys can see my 2 different GIFs that I made. So I'm going to go ahead and showcase this one first, just because it actually shows the mask, just like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and import the other one right here and showcase the controller feature. Okay, just like that. And obviously it looks a little bit cooked right now, but we can always fix it just by going into the multi-row right here and just changing the actual size of the GIF. So if we go to large, typically you'll be able to see like a full image right here. Okay, and again, when it comes to using EasyGif, guys, you literally just upload like a 5-second clip of your video or whatever you're trying to demonstrate for your product, and it just literally converts it into a GIF in like a minute and a half, bro. It's so easy. So now that we have the GIFs in the actual product page, now we have to come up with a description for each individual GIF. So obviously the first GIF here is just showing off the mask in a pretty good light. So what we have to do is go back to ChatGPT and ask it for 5 different features. So that's exactly what I did. So right here, I did, realistic eye shutter motion, innovative finger control, perfect for all events, authentic Marvel enthusiast design, and it stands out from any crowd. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm just going to go ahead and copy what ChatGPT just told me, and I'm going to go ahead and just paste it over the text area right here. And then typically what it'll do is it'll just spit everything out, and you have to go ahead and just edit it yourself. So what I'm going to do here is you can either do 2 things, right? You can either keep this and kind of just split test and see if this does a little bit better when it comes to conversions, because sometimes, you know, the customer actually wants to kind of look into the product and see, you know what it means by like realistic eye shutter motion, right? And so typically I'll either split test, this where, you can actually get a really good gauge about the product for the people that like actually like, because typically when people scroll down past the product page, like the initial product page right here, you kind of have to start convincing them like, hey, like this is why you should buy this product. And so typically you want to add these like crazy features and explanations, right? But for the sake of this video, I usually don't start with this because I think it's just like it looks like a whole book. But again, I like to kind of split test and see if, this maybe converts a little bit better. So what I'll do is I'll just delete the actual description right here, and I'll just keep the headlines, right, just like that with the emojis. And then after I delete absolutely everything like this, we're left with this, and this actually looks pretty good for now. We're gonna go ahead and change the button label to buy now, because again, you want to make sure that there's different ways to for people to actually check out. So buy now right there. And then when it comes to the button link, you want to make sure the link is actually tagged to your actual product right there. So if anybody wants to buy at this point, they can go ahead and just click buy now, and then boom, you're good to go. Another thing too is we actually have to come up with a heading. You know what? I'm just gonna write as realistic as it gets. All right, just something simple, nothing too crazy. And then boom, we should be good to go. So again, this is our first row right here with a little buy button, and then we're gonna go ahead and save that. Now what I need to do is go ahead and take a look at this row right here. And so with this one, we're gonna actually talk a little bit more about the controller. So we're gonna go here and ask it if it could make me a header and description about the controller and its features and its blinking capabilities. Let's see what it comes up with. All right, control the wink, steal the show. Not too bad. We'll go ahead and just paste that. Again, just talking a little bit more about the controller. So we'll remove this part right here. Copy this, put it into the heading section, delete that, and then boom. With the built-in finger control, you decide when the mask blinks, adding an interactive lifelike touch that takes your look to the next level. Okay, cool. We'll delete this last portion right here. And then boom, we have a nice little heading and caption. Just like that, boys. Super easy. It took me less than 5 minutes. Again, I'm going to go ahead and change the button label to buy now, just to give the customer more options to buy. And then we're going to link this to our actual product. And then boom, we have that. So we're going to go ahead and save. And then cool. Now we have our 2 GIFs that we made using easygift.com. We came up with some product features as well as some descriptions to kind of incentivize the customer to buy our product. And maybe just if he wants to learn more about it, he can by just reading this text right here. And yeah, pretty easy. Okay. So after that, we're going to go over, we went over features and benefits. Now we actually have to import some testimonials and reviews. Okay, so when it comes to this process, you're typically gonna want to use an app. And so typically what I use is called the review app. So if you go over to the app section over in your Shopify, you can go ahead and search up this app right here called Review. Okay, I think it's free. If not, they 100% have like a free trial, or they only have like I think they have a free. Let me actually check for you boys. I think it's free. Okay, why are we looking at customer details? Awesome. I'm pretty sure it's free, boys. I'm pretty sure they have like an upgraded version. Yeah, this is definitely free. So if you go ahead and download Review, you can go ahead and import AliExpress reviews from the Ali listing and just import them into your product page, right? So typically what you do here is you go over to products, you click your product, and then from here you actually go to this button right here which says import reviews, and all you literally have to do is copy the URL from the listing, right? So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at all the listings and see which one has the most amount of reviews with the best stars. So this one right here, which was the OG one that we clicked. We're going to go ahead and just copy the URL of the listing. And as you guys can see, we have some reviews in here. And all you really need to do is just paste the URL, import reviews. It's going to take a little bit of a minute. There's also like a free Chrome extension, but I mean, you could just do it this way. I think it works. And now it's going to pretty much just sync up with the product. And then your job is to go through all these reviews and make sure that they're all good and they don't sound like, like a bot, right? So what you need to do now is go to reviews right here. And you're going to obviously see some pretty good ones and also some pretty bad ones. So we have a 3-star right here. What we can do is... yeah, so it'll pretty much just like import all of the reviews from AliExpress right here. And then your job is obviously to kind of go through all of them and edit them and make sure that they actually sound legit. But honestly, boys, the best way to make reviews is to literally just make them up yourself. So if you actually click on the OG Merkface page, these are actual customer like reviews, but if we go down more, like these I pretty much made myself. So like, yeah, this one that says Ashley, Alex, Kathy, whatever, I made all this up. And typically what I'll do, like I said, we're going to use our friend ChatGPT for like the 5th time. You're going to literally ask it, all right, now I want you to write me 20 customer reviews with talking good about my mask, and then boom, it's going to just spit out a whole bunch of customer reviews. And then obviously what you could do as well too, and this isn't actually so obvious, but what you could do is like just start taking pictures all around your house with the actual product in hand, and then just copy and paste every single review so it actually has a picture with it, right? Because I think that reviews with pictures do a lot better than just these normal reviews, right? Like I think this from my boy Timothy here, right? He took a picture of the mask on, and then obviously gave it a good review. So this is actually a lot better, right? And just converts a lot better in general. So yeah, obviously paste this into your ChatGPT, copy and paste all of these, and then obviously just take some pictures yourself all around your house, and then boom, you can have like 50 reviews by the time you open up your store, with a combination of like AliExpress reviews that you go ahead and import from review. Okay, so it's pretty simple, it's pretty self-explanatory. And then once you have that, you can go ahead and just connect it to your store. All right, so now you're gonna go back to your product page. You're gonna go down to where it says add section. You're gonna click add section here. You're gonna go to apps, and then once you import all your reviews from review, the app, you're gonna go ahead and click product reviews widget. And then it's going to pretty much just import all of the reviews that you imported from either AliExpress, you made yourself, or your actual customers left you, right? Just like that. And as you guys can see, every single review has a star, right? So in total, we have a 4.8 star. And so typically what you want to do is showcase the stars over by the actual price of the product. So if we go to add section, there should be a star rating section that we can do. And it's going to be down here. So what we got to do is just bring this bad boy up right over to where it says product information. And then I think above the price should be good, just like that. So yeah, there we go. Now we have our actual price. We have our 5-star review. And then things are looking a lot better now, a lot smoother, smoother sailing for sure. So now I'm going to go ahead and save this. Boom. And so now that we have reviews, right? Again, all you really have to do is just copy and paste the AliExpress link into the review app. And then again, if this listing doesn't really have any good reviews, just go to other ones, and then boom, you can go ahead and just copy this one and paste it, right? So again, it's just a matter of finding good reviews, and just really filtering out the shitty ones, and again, just making your own at the end of the day. I think also too with the review app, you can even just import some Amazon ones, which is pretty dope, because typically Amazon reviews are a little bit more credible, a little bit more human-like than some of these crazier ones, right? So yeah, once that's done, now we're gonna go ahead and do some customer testimonials, right? So apart from the reviews, I think it's super important to just add some customer testimonials using ChatGPT. So I'm going to go ahead and add a section right here, and we're going to actually add this section right above the reviews. So it's going to be a multi-column. Okay, so you're going to click multi-column. You're going to bring the multi-column right above the review widget. And then now what we're going to do, you're going to go to mobile layout, and then you're going to actually enable this option that says carousel. So then people can actually swipe through the customer testimonials, right? So what we have to do is we have to disable this button label right here. So just completely delete that. And this could all stay the same. We have to change the multi-column heading to something like what Deadpool lovers have to say, something like this, what Deadpool lovers have to say. And then what we can do here is go ahead and go to the column and start importing some fake customer testimonials. So what we do is we go back to ChatGPT, and now since it has some information when it comes to reviews, now you're gonna ask it, now I want you to make me 3 different customer testimonials about their experience with the product. And then we'll do like make 2 from boys and 1 from a girl. Like, you can literally just go super in depth with this. And then boom, it'll just print out some customer testimonials. As you guys can see, this guy's kind of going OD about it. So we have Jason, 22 from Los Angeles. We have Alyssa from Miami. And then we have Chris from Dallas. So again, all you have to do is just go ahead and copy the headline. So best cosplay purchase I've made hands down. So you're going to go here to the column section, go to the heading, paste that in, and then go over to the description, delete this. Let's actually make this a little bit smaller. Let's make them shorter. Make them shorter. I think it's a little bit just too long. All right, so yeah, best cosplay buy ever. The wink feature is insane. I wore it for hours. Just like that. I actually like this one, so we'll keep that one. We'll keep the initial heading, but then we'll change the body description to this. The wing feature is insane. I wear it for hours at a con, and people couldn't stop asking for it. Super comfy too. All right, so again, sounds super believable. And then we'll go ahead and just leave that as is. And then go ahead and save it. Go to the other column right here. And then we're going to go ahead and just paste some of the other ones. So again, guys, as you guys can see, this is like super easy. It doesn't take long at all. Obviously, you just have to kind of tell ChatGPT what you want. The more specific you are, the better. Again, the whole job of AI is to just be your little helper here. So just be specific with what you're asking, and 9 out of 10 times it'll just give it to you. So we have our second one right here, and now let's do our third one, our last one, our last testimonial from Chris. And he's gonna be like, this mask goes brazy. So heading right here, boom. Description: the blinking eye is wild, easy to control, looks realistic. Boom, just like that. And then link label, again, buy now. Product, link our product. And then boom, just like that. Yeah, this is pretty fire. I think one thing I'm going to change though, because I did this for that. Oh, actually, I didn't know. We're just going to add the names like at the end of the testimonial. So again, just to kind of add a little bit more credibility to this, we're just going to add their names. So the first one that it gave us was Jason M. Jason M right here. Then we'll go ahead and go to the second testimonial, Alyssa T from Miami. Enter, boom. And then lastly, we're gonna go ahead and change up the last one right here, and we're gonna go ahead and press enter, boom. So now we have all of our testimonials here. We have Jason, Alyssa, and then Chris. We're gonna go ahead and save that. And then boom, guys, look how much better it's looking. And again, something that I like to change as well is something like the colors. So if I go here to the color scheme, I'm gonna go ahead and pick color scheme number 3. Just because it's always good to kind of switch up the colors when they're going down the product page. Okay, so yeah, this one's not too bad. Yeah, this is pretty dope. So now, and again, I'm gonna do like some finishing touches. Don't worry, I know this doesn't look completely like finalized yet, but it's looking a lot better than when we started. So now that we have that out of the way, we have the testimonials and reviews. Now we're gonna actually go ahead and make some bundles and actually work on the offers. So typically what I like to use is Kaching for bundles. Okay, so Kaching is a really fire like bundle maker when it comes to your product. So obviously what we have at the moment is just a normal add to cart button, but typically you're gonna be missing out on a lot of money if you don't add like either a bundle or some sort of offer that incentivizes people to buy more, to essentially just increase your average order value, right? Because again, we want more money in our pockets. And what I did for this mask in particular was I ran with a bundle deal. So typically customers would get a percentage off every time they would buy multiple pairs of these masks. So if they bought one, you know, they'd get normal pricing. Buy two, they'd get, I think, like 15% off, then 25% off. But another thing too that I want to talk about is you know, bundles and actual offers, because I think 99% of organic dropshippers don't even focus about, you know, the actual offer itself and like what's going to incentivize people to buy your product, right? Because when we're talking about, you know, an offer here, like free shipping, that's like bullshit, bro. Like that's what literally 99% of people are offering is free shipping or 50% off. But like, what else could you add to incentivize the buyer to maybe buy, you know, different variations of your products, or maybe just buy more quantities, right? So typically what I like to do at this stage in my journey is to essentially offer something for free, because when people hear free, they're like, holy shit, I'm getting something for free, something that has value and is free, right? So what I like to do is go ahead and maybe stick with the initial bundle deal, but maybe when people buy 3 variations instead of maybe 1 or 2, they get like something for free. So again, I kind of did this with the initial page here with the Wolverine necklace, because if you go to add to cart here, there was like a little bit of an upsell here for an extra $15. You can get the necklace, but like, again, like who's gonna really take this? Not a lot of people really took this. But now what I would do is maybe add this necklace for free if people were to buy 3, because bro, this is like $238, right? So you might as well give them something for free. And again, I was sourcing this necklace for like $5, right? So again, I could take the L on the necklace just to increase the average order value, right? So always think about that too. Like, how can you make a compelling offer for anybody that's going into your funnel, right? Because remember, this is like a whole entire funnel to make them purchase more than one. So like I said, I use Kaching. I don't think it's free, but what I'm going to put you onto is another one called Pumper. So Pumper is what I used for my website here, and I'm pretty sure they're still free. But I might be corrected. It's been a minute since I used Pumper. So if you use Pumper bundles, let me go ahead and update real quick. I'm gonna cut the video. Oh my God, yeah, it looks like they're not free anymore. It goes after a year and a half, over 300K invested for you. Pumper goes platinum or premium. Jesus, okay. Maybe I'm grandfathered in for now. Who knows? But typically, what you'll do is you'll go into whatever bundle quantity break app you want to use, and all you need to do is just create a new offer, and you essentially make your offer. Yeah, see, like they're making me pick a plan. That's literally just insane, bro. I'm trying to just record this video, but you guys get the gist here. You're probably going to be paying like $10 a month for one of these. Again, it's worth it in my opinion, because again, you're investing in your business and you're essentially just making more money off these quantity breaks. Okay, it's only $10. If you want, you can just cancel if your store dies down, whatever. But my favorite one so far is Kaching. I think it looks the absolute cleanest, and I think it honestly converts the highest. This is probably the best one. It looks super clean, and a lot of stores that are doing multiple 6 figures, even 7, are using Kaching bundles, and it's really cool because you can go ahead and just, you know, offer these types of discounts, as well as when people go through your discounts, they can actually pick certain variations of your product to mix and match with. So it's really cool, and it also allows you to add, you know, like free gifts as well. So definitely invest in this. It's pretty fire, and it's what I typically use. Again, I'm not even like sponsored by any of these people, so yeah, but definitely use bundles in your store to build something out like this, okay, to where people are actually incentivized to buy more product, right? And lastly, another thing that I want to talk about too is going to be cart upsells, right? So typically when people add to cart, you want to actually upsell them on something, right? So what I like to do here is, you know, click add to cart and see typically there's nothing. It's just straight to checkout. We don't want that. So what I did for this particular store is right here. Like I told you guys, we were doing an upsell offer on this Deadpool and Wolverine best friends necklace for an extra $15. You can go ahead and you know, add this to their cart for I think like a percentage off. But another thing that I was offering too was free shipping. So if people were to buy more than, oh yeah, I was. So yeah, if people were to buy more than, or if people were to buy 3 masks, they would actually get a free best friends necklace. So yeah, I was kind of offering that, but it was kind of like too low key. So what I would have done like now is probably integrate this free best friends necklace right under this third pill right here as like a free gift. You know what I'm saying? So people actually know what they're getting and not, you know, noticing this offer only in checkout, right? So typically what you want to use to offer these upsells is an app called Upcart. So what we want to do is download the app called Upcart to offer people these cart upsells. Okay, so again, I think they have a free plan, but yeah, it's only for development stores, but I think it's like $30 a month, and I think they charge you per order. Honestly, bro, this is only gonna make you more money, especially when your store is like actually blowing up and you're getting consistent sales. Bro, just invest in Upcart, get it, and bro, you'll literally just make so much more money, because again, you're able to add these upsells within your cart and just make free money. Because what I typically do is add something called shipping protection, which is honestly not even a real thing, and people are willing to pay $5 to $10 for shipping protection. And I think I was actually maybe offering this when it came to the necklaces. Was I offering that? No, I think I was just taking people straight to checkout. See, I was such a noob back in the day, bro. But for some of my stores now, I'm either offering express shipping or something like shipping protection to just increase my average order value and pretty much just make me free money, bro. All right, guys, so now that we're done with some of the apps, the last thing that I always like to do is add some sort of FAQ section for the customer to kind of go through some frequently asked questions, right? So what I'll do is I'll add it in between the review section and the testimonial section. So what I'm going to do here is, again, we're going to go back to the mobile view just to take a look at it. You're going to add section right here, and you're going to go to the collapsible content, right? So you're going to click collapsible content. You're actually going to bring this up, and we're going to add it in between the testimonial and the actual reviews. We're going to go ahead and change the name to FAQs, and then we'll add about 3 of these. And guys, we're going to go back into ChatGPT, okay? And we're going to go ahead and ask it, hey, now make me, all in caps, hey, now make me 3 different FAQs with answers about the mask. We're going to go ahead and ask it right there. And then boom, we have 3 different FAQs. So one is, does the mask actually blink? We're going to go ahead and copy that. So for the heading, we're going to go ahead and paste that. And then the answer is yes, the mask feature is realistic. Bada bing, bada boom. And again, you want to make sure that these are actual questions that your customers would buy. Again, I'm just going off of what ChatGPT is telling me, but I think I did a pretty good job when it came to the website. So I was like talking about like, all right, how does the emotion and blinking work? Is the mask one size fit all? Like, these are very important FAQs that people actually look for when buying the product, because again, you want to make sure the mask is like one size fits all, and that the mask could actually like, withstand, water or just whatever the fuck. So again, I'm just going off of what ChatGPT is telling me, but again, you could always refine it to make it a little bit better. So again, pretty easy process when it comes to making FAQs. We're going to go ahead and save this. But typically I'll just add a little bit of a question mark icon just to make it a little bit nicer. And then there we go, boys. Now we have our FAQ just like that. Bada bing, bada boom, super easy. So yeah, guys, as you guys can see, we just completed our product page in honestly less than like 30 minutes. This didn't take too long. And again, the majority was using ChatGPT and just using some of the resources that you can get your hands on now that are completely for free. Again, this is there's nothing here you had to pay for, really. The only thing you're gonna probably need to pay for at this level is gonna be that bundle maker and the cart upsells. That's pretty much all you're gonna have to pay for, but that's probably like an extra $20 a month that you're gonna be spending. But if you're probably watching this video, your store's already gaining traction, or maybe you just want to know how to build a website. But again, this should kind of be your reference point when it comes to building out your website every time you go viral, or you just need to build something out super quick to kind of like have up by the next day. And again, guys, this is literally what has made me over like damn near $100,000. This little theme right here that I built out in front of you today, this is enough to make your first 6 figures with organic, like easily, right? But obviously, as you continue to scale your stores, you want to maybe invest into a theme to make the website just a little bit nicer and really just provide the customer with like, okay, this guy's really legit, right? But again, this actually does give me a legit vibe. Like, even if we go back to the initial completed website with everything included, like the bundle maker, this looks legit, right? This looks absolutely legit. This made me over $20,000. This super like bro, look at this, bro. Like, we're not even talking about branded product images. These are just normal GIFs, couple of features. some customer testimonials, FAQs, and that's pretty much it, bro. This took me like less than an hour to make, printed me money, converted. And I'm telling you, you don't need anything crazy to start, right? Obviously later on you can go ahead and buy a theme, but boys, this is literally all you need. So yeah, boys, I'm going to end off the video here, and hopefully you guys did find some sort of value when it came to actually building out your first product page. And I'm here to tell you, this is literally all you need in the beginning to make your first 6 figures with organic or even just e-com in general, bro. And hopefully you guys did learn something new. And this should always be your reference when it comes to building out your product page. When you're going viral, or you just want to build out your first ever website. Also, if you guys do want to work with me personally, where I'll literally take you from making your first $1 to $10,000 with organic dropshipping, in the link in the description, you're going to be able to book a call with me where we'll literally just dissect your business, hop on a call, chop it up, and see if you're a right fit. And again, guys, I'm only taking a couple more students just because we're almost full. And I'm really going to be selective about the people that I pick. So if you guys do have some capital set aside and want to reinvest it in yourself and your business, click the link in the description and book a call. But other than that, guys, hopefully you guys did find some sort of value. Drop a like, subscribe. We're almost at 3K subscribers. And with that being said, guys, I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.